Hi guys, today I have a very special unboxing for you because personally I've been really anticipating this piece and it's been delayed so many times, but here he finally is. And I'm going to try and say it without messing up. The Hot Toys 1/6 scale Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Raiden Sideshow Exclusive Edition figure. I did it. The box art is pretty cool. It's got the original art from the game itself. Comes in a traditionally sized Hot Toys box with a fold-up window display. And personally, the reason why this figure is so big and important to me is I'm a huge fan of Platinum Games. I have pretty much all of their games, and this was their first foray into the Metal Gear series. They added their own touch to it. They changed it up. A lot of people didn't like that, and it was too much of a departure. But personally, I dug it and I loved it. I like what they did with the Raiden character, and when I heard that Hot Toys was making a figure, this was a day one pre-order for me. The hair is so intricate. Look how many layers of hair they had to add on just to recreate it. I give them a lot of credit. This is one of the better hairs that have been done for a while. Nice little metallic sheen on his chest plate, the metallic area. You can see how intricate and how many pieces it came together just to make the chest alone. And I'm only assuming that because of all the delays that this figure has experienced, that this figure getting into production must have been a nightmare. You look at all the individual pieces, such as those little blades that come out of his shoulder plates, his shoulder pads, sorry, and his gauntlets right there. They're individual pieces. Everything had to come together to give an accurate depiction of this video game character, because there's no real world reference for them to go by. All the little text that you can see, they're all readable. You have those bands right there, which you have to be really careful too, because if you pose them, turn them too far left, right, ab crunch, whatever, you can stretch them. The arms and legs have a nice click so that you can hold poses. But there have been some problems folks have been experiencing with the ratchet and the elbows not locking in, and unfortunately myself being one of them now is added to that list, as the left arm, you'll see throughout this entire video, will never be bent because it won't ratchet. But Sideshow is going to get this piece back or replacement for me. That will be for sure. But for the sake of this video, we will soldier on. It comes with a nice base. There's a nice wet gloss over the top layer of the base. I can imagine that being easily scratched. You have the split mask there, the visor full, intact, complete. There's issues with that too. You have a shortened shoulder blade chest area, or shoulder chest area, so that you can do closed arm poses, the gun, the knife for his heel, and that is the little holder for the sword that you mount on to his torso area. It actually goes onto his hip and it wraps around his torso area. And this is the high frequency blade that goes with his sword sheath. The Muramasa blade here, that is the exclusive from Sideshow. And if you have played the game, that sword actually does have significance. Here is his shortened chest armor area. You use this piece just so that he can do like some samurai sword poses, like two-handed. I counted about 6 pieces individually for each assembled armored pieces, and you can see between the short retracted version and the fully, for the museum poses extended right there. 2 heels. This is the difference between his left foot. One has the hole, and that one is also arched, so you can put his sword or you can put his knife inside of it. And with both ankles, you have to be careful. It rotates below that little pivot arch disc. As you can see, the peg there ends in a square, and that disc actually sits in that square rectangular peg. So if you tried to rotate it from there, you could break it. Here is the gun attachment. You get 2 gun hands, so you can pick whichever arm you want to put the gun on. Here's the Muramasa blade. A little bit of spoilers here, so pause or skip. This blade is important because this is the sword that damaged his last body beyond repair, and which is why he has this new body. Another one of the problems this figure has, a lot of people have been reporting, and I completely agree with it, is that is the visor. Now here I'm going to show you where the split visor is, and that's fine. It just goes from that peg into the little holes on the side right above his ears. Those sit and seat perfectly fine, really high actually. If you look, it's above his like eyebrow line. But the problem is with the completed visor, it just sits too far low. There's those little round notches, and you would attach them on there on each side of his head. And be careful as well, because it is fairly fragile. It is flexible on purpose so that you can you stretch them out and put them over. But the problem is, look at that. Look how low it seats above his face, and in the game it actually is much higher than that. So a lot of people are a little perturbed about that. I'm a little annoyed too. I can't say that that's unwarranted. Here is the like attachment for his sword sheath. This is it has a D peg, so you can't like just spin it freely when you attach it on. It is articulated, but it is very limited in some areas and very loose on some others, because so you have to be very careful when you're moving that thing about, because you could accidentally break it. I can see it. There's the D peg, and it attaches on the side of his left hip, and that D-peg keeps it from rotating around, and then it's just going to wrap around his back. Unfortunately, there is also another problem with this this as well as the sword sheath. It just sits a little too low and a little too centered behind his back. Even if you pivot and angle it a little bit, it's a little too hidden. So yes, this figure has quite a bit of problems with it. So far, there's a lot of problems with the arms or the ratchets in the elbows, not clicking or locking into place, very loosely dangling, as you will see from my figure in a short while here. And then there's also the visor that just seats a little too low. There's the arm issue that I've been having. That arm's going to go back, or I'm going to get an entirely new figure. There's also the issue of the sword. It just like it mounts a little too low and centered behind his back. Let's see what else we're going to get into here. The bands there, as you see, I have stretched them out a little bit by accident, just because of the way that I posed them. So yeah, be careful on how you pose them. You don't want to stretch them out too much, but unfortunately that's just the name of the game. They haven't returned to size either. The legs do extend if you pull them down. You have to be very, it's a little nerve-wracking, but they do extend so that you can get more posability, more angles out of the leg there. I figure when they initially went into R&D with this figure, they imagined that this would be a very dynamic, highly posable figure. In the end result, in my opinion, isn't quite just that. It doesn't pose, or I haven't been able to get it to pose too dynamically as some other people may hope or want to see, just as in the video game has. But overall, the figure is very cool. It looks, if you just leave it there and look at it, it's bang on. The head sculpt, even for based off of someone that does not exist in real life, maybe they got digital sculpts or whatever, the head sculpt is spectacular. It is so bang on and exactly what you see the guy in the video game. The body and overall everything, just all the intricacies of, you know, the armor, the little pieces that they put together just to bring it to life and make it accurate. I think they did a great job there. There are those issues that I labeled there in the earlier, but overall I do love this figure. I mean, if you're just looking at it, for a 1/6 scale, it has so much presence, and it's so accurate in look or depiction, which however you want to look at it. But the figure is pricey. It is listed at $299, and there's also a red variant that is the like the kind of like the Toy Fair exclusive that's going on. It's still up for sale as well. I may end up doing that because I really do like how well this figure looks, and like I said, it has quite a bit of presence to it. So, who is this figure for? Well, if you're into Metal Gear Solid fans, this may not even be for you because, like I said, Platinum Games took their own spin on it. It's not directly tied to the Metal Gear franchise. It's just kind of like in the world there on that side. So, the Metal Gear purists and you may not really care for this figure, and it might be a little too out of some people's budget. But if you liked Metal Gear Rising, this figure is for you. Do keep in mind that these figures are servicing with issues, so keep a close eye on your figure, inspect it, make sure you take the proper channels to ensure that you get a good one, or even get a replacement and whatnot. I personally love the figure. This figure is staying out for a while. I have my Metal Gear Rising Collector's Edition that I'm just going to display with the lantern, the little lamp, the electrifying lamp. You'll see here in a little bit. It's not going to come, I'm not going to display it with all of the little extras that it came with because it's just a little too busy, as you will see, but it'll be there in some way, form, or another. I think with all the accessories, you get a lot of different options on how to display this guy. It's kind of hard for me to not want to buy a few more of them just to have them in different poses, but it photographs really well as too. And another thing, it's a taller figure than other Hot Toys, and I believe that's because he is standing on his heels essentially. But anyways, thanks for checking my video out, guys. I really appreciate it. Every time you guys watch my videos, subscribe, like, comment. It helps me out a lot. I'm going to try and keep doing more of this as the time comes. There's a lot of stuff that I have. I'm a little backed up right now, but with time, hopefully I can get all those out to you guys soon. Enjoys these last little shots, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And until next time, please keep collecting.